Just remember this. Here in Hollywood, where they write scripts about stars, they'll be writing Weber and Bibby.
I will have more on that later on. Gay was prepared to give a dissertation. Coming up, it's game number 4 of this best of 7 for the Lakers. These are...
We're looking at something really treat ourselves as if we're down team and realize we can't win if we don't win this next game.
We know that they're resilient right now. And that's the only way we cut out the head of the snake and tell them what it's happening.
He said, in the last game I was being too nice. He said, tonight, no more big easies. Tonight, big nasty. Mark?
All right, Jim. Well, Shaq came out in very tentative fashion on Friday night. Picked it up in the second quarter, but he was in foul trouble. Phil Jackson said at the start, Shaq did not want the ball until he had a feel for the rhythm in light of the tight officiating. But we look for a different philosophy here this afternoon. Dan Crawford, Ron Garrison, Ken Maurer are the officials, and the Lakers control the opening tip, and this crowd is in it right from the start. Robert Horry being played by Chris Webber. Kobe Bryant, who had the slow start on Friday night, and O'Neal goes right to it and comes up short, but the ball lands back in the hands of O'Neal. Obviously looking to get it going right at the start.
Initiating contact, taking it right at him. The Kings have to do a better job of getting those quick rebounds when Shaq misses the initial one.
Here is history, and the game is tied at 2.
Marv, we have never seen a Laker crowd as nervous and as anxious as this, and I think if they think they need to be here for their team and the Kings respond, this is going to be a very good game.
Derek Fisher has to get the shot going, or he will take a seat because he's had difficulty handling Bibby, and Chris Webber has given the Kings a 4-2 lead. In fact, the Lakers had trouble with penetrating backcourt men. We saw that in the San Antonio series with Tony Parker, and they have not been able to deal to this point with Bibby and Jackson. The bad pass picked off by Bibby. Christie with room, changed his mind, took it for 3. Kings have come out on fire. Tito Turkoglu, remember, had that 0 for 8 in Game 1, missed his first 3 shots in Game 2, but has picked it up. The Kings have a 7-2 advantage.
Well, you hear that crowd, and they're really trying to get the Lakers to respond and get in the game, and with the exception of the one made by Shaq, they are struggling offensively.
All right, Fisher. Yeah, number 4 on the line. It's a 2-pointer.
Phil Jackson said the keys for Los Angeles will be rhythm and court spacing, penetration, get to the free throw line, focus defensively on Mike Bibby, and then play as a team.
Well, Bibby able to beat Fisher off the dribble, but threw it back out. Horry with the rebound.
Fisher might want to think about dumping it into Shaq to always get those 3-point shots whenever they want.
Rick Fox for 3. And Turkoglu on the rebound.
Well, Phil Jackson has said that they're going to give Mike Bibby some special attention, and they better start right from the get-go because he is beating Derek Fisher off the dribble, and that's why those shots are wide open.
And again, Bibby gets the step. And again, Bibby is able to hit. So the Kings lead 9-4.
The Fishers of the world have been responsible for putting 2 championship rings on Shaquille and Kobe's fingers. Right now, he's got to tighten things up defensively. Unacceptable.
Robert Horry. Here's Kobe Bryant eluding Doug Christie. Went to the crossover and was fouled. Foul committed by Webber. That's the first foul of the night.
Carelessness. Mike Bibby along the baseline. Good ball movement, which has become a trademark of this Sacramento team. You got to force the guy all the way to the basket. As a defender, you only have to guard the perimeter. You can't give up that mid-range shot. Bibby will make that every time.
Here's O'Neal. So that's the second bucket for Shaq, and the Kings have a 9-6 lead. Bibby using the pick from Divac and hits. Mike Bibby on Friday night played 46 minutes, 8 of 14, 2 from downtown, 24 points and 5 assists. And this has been going on throughout the postseason, starting with the first against Utah. Robert Horry from Shaquille O'Neal.
Great things happen when you come inside early in the shot clock, allowing Shaq to become a passer. But everybody has to keep moving. Shaq will give it up.
Nice pass, Divac to Weber, and the Kings have come out and hit 6 of their first 7 shots.
Remember, in the second and fourth quarters, that's when the Laker defense was able to have some impact. They're not even able to stop the ball, and that is what's killing them at the offensive end. Good ball movement, good player movement.
O'Neal draws the foul. Shaq so much more active here at the start. Divac picks up his first.
What the Sacramento Kings have done is exploit the fact that the Lakers can't respond to where the ball is. They're moving the ball. They're a great passing team. The result is Shaq is going to have to put a lot on his big back and see if he can't keep him in the game.
The Lakers should look at putting Kobe Bryant on Mike Bibby. Kobe Bryant, a fabulous individual defensive player. Phil Jackson has always loved to go with size over tough and dominating point guards who don't have that height, the way he did in the Utah series when John Stockton was taken out by Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Ron Harper.
Well, Bibby's not going to be taken out because he's a very aggressive and very clever player, and now you put Kobe Bryant in harm's way if you do that.
Not only that, Kobe doesn't have his legs. Got to show that he's back in tip-top shape as Divac shows once again the nice jump hook move against O'Neal, and the Kings now lead 15-9.
All of the Kings have scored, and that's been their secret. When everybody's scoring, they're rough to beat.
Turkoglu off the steal. O'Neal not able to handle that one-hop pass from Fisher. Turkoglu. Weber with the rebound. Weber on the move is able to score, and the Kings now lead 17-9. They have hit 8 of their first 10.
Fabulous game by Chris Weber. Getting it done, just throwing guys out of the way on the offensive glass from the weak side. And strong finishing.
Here is Bryant, and that shot is still off. He came up short on the first attempt, but a loose ball foul. Called on Weber, so that's a quick 2 on Chris Weber.
And that is a costly foul for Weber over the back. And we take a look at the way that the Kings have been able to move. See, no defensive pressure on the ball. Just go where you want. Vlade Divac has got a nice little 5-foot hook, and he drops it down. And you're always saying, Weber, stay inside.
And he does this on the offensive glass. Unfortunately, his lack of discipline on the other end of the court caused him to pick up 2
that Weber has been getting for not being more of an inside player. Rick says he's doing just fine.
3 years ago when we played, and we tried to post him up a lot, and we got criticized because that's all we did, and we got stagnant. And now we're supposed to be moving the ball, and everybody loves the way we play, and now you want me to stop play and post him up every single time. We want a nice combination, and I think it's a growth in Chris and a growth in the team that he knows when to go down, we know when to gain the ball, and he's been playing super. I mean, he's responded to everything, and the bottom line is your team winning. And he's the biggest part of why we're winning.
The combination has been there for Chris Weber, who stays in the game with 2 fouls. But when you look at the Kings' 2 best games in this playoff run this year, number 1 against Dallas, number 3 against the Lakers, and Chris Weber was dominant inside in both of those games.
And hit that huge shot of the fourth quarter on Friday night, with the Lakers in the midst of that 14-0 run, trying to get back into it. The block by Weber, and then a foul on Fox, who tried to get it back.
Well, they are taking a huge gamble, and maybe the reason for it is Robert Horry is not a great one-on-one player, but Weber extends to get a piece of that shot, and in trying to get it back, Fox comes over the top.
See, Chris's fouls come on careless gambling on plays that he really has no need or chance of success with it.
Beautiful pass by Weber, and Divac is fouled. But it is a gamble on the part of Rick Adelman to stay with Weber this early in the game.
You don't win championships without gambling, without being the attacker. And right now it's Vlade Divac going right back at Shaq. All the years, Marv, of teams trying to attack Shaq with goon ball, with the hack of Shaq, with the fouling. Finally, Vlade comes and shows how to be successful, if you can be, against the big guy Shaq.
And O'Neal picks up the foul. His first, the Kings now lead 18-9. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
Marvin, speaking to Chris Webber yesterday, he said this is the third time that we have played the Lakers. We have now been there before. Our core has been together for 3.5 years, and he said the main thing that has happened is that the Lakers have now become human. They don't look at them anymore as some superheroes, just a bunch of other guys. And he said that's been the biggest difference so far in this series. Mark?
Well, they come out. Fisher was able to knock down a second field goal, showing that Friday night, or trying to show that Friday night was not a once again draws the foul.
The Kings are now moving the ball so well. The Laker defense is reacting, and they're chasing, and that's the reason that Divac is able to come across the middle and get these kinds of opportunities. Shaq's not going to be able to react. Robert Horry, none of those guys can react to the ball movement. They have got to stop the ball if they're going to get control of the Kings.
Press offense, a thing of beauty for Sacramento. Rick Fox double-teaming Mike Bibby in the backcourt. Then everybody giving the ball up early and going and attacking the basket as Vlade Divac's numbers just continue to impress. The foul troubles, yes, have been a problem, but you're always going to be up against it playing against Shaq. You have to contribute on the offensive end, and Vlade has done a magnificent job of doing that.
And perhaps playing his best basketball of the season.
And for a guy who's not noted for playing well against Shaq, and also not noted for his consistency, a big test for Vlade today.
Just under 6 remaining in the first, and the Lakers are down by 10. Robert Horry giving that shot way off from downtown.
And the difference right now is in the attack. The Lakers are a perimeter jump shooting team, with the exception of dropping the ball into Shaq, and the Kings are ball movement, sliding to the hoop, getting high percentage shots.
Once again, Bibby able to beat Fisher off the dribble, and the Kings lead 23-11.
Didn't Phil Jackson say penetrate and get to the hoop? That's the basis of our game.
Foul is called on Bibby. Kind of a tough foul on Mike Bibby.
He's saying this is rough, but look at Bibby. Watch him look back and say, "What's my name?"
This guy's name is Mike Bibby. And they better start printing up some shirts there for this guy. This guy is playing fabulous basketball in all respects.
Fisher for 3. Rebounded by Divac, and here comes Christie. The Kings with a 3-point lead, add to it. Turnbull able to beat the Lakers down court.
Lakers aren't listening to Phil Jackson, and he wants a timeout. He's got to rectify this immediately. Why isn't Shaq touching the ball every time?
Sacramento has come out, hit 10 of 12 from the field. You listen to the crowd reaction. These are anxious moments here at Staples in Los Angeles. The Kings with a 2-1 lead in this best of 7, with game number 5 coming up in Sacramento on Tuesday night, and they have the Lakers 25-11 here in the first.
And championships by playing as a team, and at this particular period of time, I think we're feeling like we've got to have Shaquille and Kobe do a lot more for us than maybe we really have to have them do. Maybe the focal point of this King defense is Shaquille and Kobe, and the rest of the guys have to step up and get those 15 points and allow Shaquille and Kobe to get the points they're naturally going to get in a game of duress. Maybe they only get 20, 25 points. But other people have to step into the open areas and into the opportunities they have.
The role players definitely have to deliver. The start has been a nightmare once again here. Only 11 points, 5 for 13 shooting, mimicking the embarrassing moments of Game 3 here. Shaq and Kobe in Game 1. That was very, very difficult and tough to swallow for longtime Laker fans. Rick Fox not getting it done. He's going to sit it out for a while. Sacramento, they need to get greedy right here. They need to treat this as, okay, we're ahead at the half. Time to put the hammer down and think offense.
And Evan George has come on, replacing Rick Fox. Brian Shaw, who provided a lift in the fourth quarter the other night, has kicked in. Shaquille O'Neal with his third field goal. He has 7. The Kings now lead 25-13.
12-point game, and Shaq, Kobe's job is to keep them close. At some point, that will take the pressure off of George and Robert Horry, Brian Shaw.
Evan George with a tough assignment against Hedo Turkoglu. Did a nice job defensively. Divac and George scrapping forward. George able to hustle it down and draws the foul.
Now, when the Kings get in trouble, it's when they try to become one-on-one players. And Hedo Turkoglu trying to go one-on-one and didn't get by anybody. Tosses up a real tough shot. Now he's going to try to come in and come up with the steal, and they don't get control of the ball.
Foul on Turkoglu, so the Kings are over the foul limit.
In that situation, Turkoglu, you're stuck. You got great passing big men, Vlade and Weber. Have them flash to the ball. Give it up and execute the give and go, and you'll get a layup every single time. Don't force up that ill-advised shot.
Evan George played a playoff career high 27 minutes the other night. Only 3 for 13, but had 7 rebounds. And Phil Jackson likes his work defensively. That's why he's put him on Turkoglu.
And one of the things about Turkoglu, this is a big opportunity for him. He's got friends all over the world watching him play, and he wants to step up. And the Kings get in a hot streak. He wants to stay part of that.
Another 4.5 remaining in the first. Kings by 11. Weber playing with a 2 foul, backing his way on Horry. And gets the friendly roll.
George might have tipped that in. It started to come off. George was up there. Might have been the nice guy for Chris Webber.
Lakers have to try to get more fouls on Vlade. Vlade is playing too well.
Well, Shaq is doing his part here at the start. He now has 9. And it's a 27-16 Sacramento lead.
You know, you got your wish, Kobe Bryant, against Mike Bibby, and they end up with Shaquille O'Neal picking up a foul.
For Shaq, that's his second as he came out trying to help on Bibby.
Chris Webber, who does not have outstanding footwork on delivering that jump ball, gets a very kind roll that time, but Lakers' defense of the pick and roll has left a lot to be desired in this series.
Divac went right at a very careful Shaquille O'Neal, who did not want to be called for a third foul.
Well, Vladdy's showing the left and right hook, and so, you know, he is getting a lot of freedom at the offensive end.
Kobe Bryant did not get the kind roll. Turkoglu protecting against George.
Now, Devin George is very active and aggressive defensively. Attack him and burn him with that enthusiasm.
Mike Bibby continues his remarkable play. 4 for 4 from the field. He has 8 points.
I mean, people don't give him enough credit for being a great shooter, and he is a stick, and he is a very clever player.
Here's Bibby lobbing, but that got away. George on the intercept. Bryant, but the Kings get back. Nice pass by Bryant, but George not able to finish. And Ken Maurer blows the whistle, a foul on the Lakers. It's on George.
Vlade Divac is playing a very solid game again. Coming right at Shaq, attacking him, showing the whole repertoire. Keep Shaq back on his heels.
Who is this guarding, Mike Bibby? I think it's Kobe Bryant.
No,
and
that was
he's going to treat him just like he's treated everyone else. He backs up and drops a dime on him. When a player has the ability to stop, change direction, he's tough to handle when he's got a jump shot to go with him.
Lakers over the foul limit. Vlade Divac 4 for 4, now 5 for 5 from the foul line. Chris Webber sitting down, and Bobby Jackson played very well over the first 3 games of the series. Has checked in. He's fouled by a sprained left ankle that was suffered in the third quarter the other night. Although he says it's a mild sprain. Jackson said he heard the joint thump when he went down in a collision, but the Kings say he's all right. Well, game 3, the Kings led 32-15. And look at this score right here, 33-16 Sacramento. George, good job getting the rebound, but way off on the follow. And this crowd getting a bit anxious.
Well, they should, because they're not making shots, and that's all it comes down to. You can't beat a team that's making shots and you're not. You talk about your defense and everything else, but the ball is not going in, and the Lakers dig a big hole.
If you're Sacramento, keep pushing on an offensive attack.
Divac tried to keep it alive, but knocked it out of bounds, so the ball back to the Lakers.
Turkoglu is playing the power forward for Sacramento right now. He's getting pushed underneath the basket on his defensive rebound. He has got to establish position and hold out guys like Ori and Devin George and Kobe Bryant. He's got a huge role because Vlade is so preoccupied with Shaq.
O'Neal going at Divac. George, this time, is able to convert.
When you're playing against a great player like Shaq, your power forward has to be huge on the defensive board. Gobble everything up.
And remember, the Sacramento Kings have done the job as Jackson is tripped up by Ori. Lakers over the limit. Jackson will go to the line. Sacramento has had all the success without their all-star player, Peja Stojakovic, who continues to sit out with that sprained right ankle. Rick Adelman says Peja just cannot run. He was injured back in Game 3 in the series against Dallas.
Well, he was here early today, Peja, and he's moving a lot better. He's got a little bit of lateral mobility. He's stepping back and then forward. The shot was down there, but still unrealistic to expect Peja to make the kind of move into this competition with the injury that he had.
But this is a team that has lost important players, and it has not affected the way they played. And the perfect example, Chris Webber, right at the start of the season.
He missed the first 20 games, and with a new point guard, they still ran away from the pack. Why I voted for Rick Adelman for Coach of the Year this year in the NBA.
The first we heard of that vote.
Now he did, I must say, he mentioned it early in the season. I hate to vouch. The foul is called on Jackson. Kind of slipped it in a late ad after he had mentioned two other coaches.
He mentioned Phil Jackson, Maurice Cheeks, and never got to the guy that had the best record.
Here's Scott Pollard for Vlade Divac. Another outstanding performance by Divac. 10 points. And he'll take a seat. So Devin George at the line with a minute 35 remaining in this first quarter. Well, you can log on to NBA.com to bid in the Where's Walton auction for exclusive memorabilia from the Love It Live tour, which proceeds to benefit reading is fundamental. It's all at NBA.com.
Marv, look up there and you see 35 points, and the Lakers are #1 in field goal percentage for their opponents, and they are getting manhandled.
Not Pollard on the move, and he is fouled. It's a blocking foul on Fox.
A trademark of every Phil Jackson championship team has been defend the pick and roll expertly. Send them away from the pick, send them to the baseline, pin them with size. Bibby is torching the Lakers in the pick and roll from up top, from the side, from everywhere. Pollard runs it right there. Samaki Walker, who hasn't been heard from since the media conference at the start of this series, gets out there way too late and no opportunity to slow down Bibby on that pick and roll.
Samaki played well against his former team, San Antonio, but very quiet in this series.
Well, especially after barking at the beginning, saying the Kings have no chance here.
Lakers with 2 fouls apiece on Fox, Ori, and O'Neal. We come up on a minute remaining in the first. 15-point Sacramento wins.
Well, with Shaq out, you can look for Kobe to start trying to make plays for everybody else, but they're just not finishing. You get them the pass right at the rim. George misses a couple. Now Samaki Walker.
It's the Lakers who look psychologically unsettled while the Kings look so poised.
Here is Turkoglu with room. Yes!
Any shot they want. Any shot they want right now.
That's a three-pointer, and Turkoglu has 8.
And the Lakers can do nothing about it because they can't stop the ball at the point of attack.
Run if you're Sacramento. Never stop.
Jackson is blocked. Hard run. Terrific play by Kobe in getting back.
That's just really fires.
Well, he shoot again, this time for 3.
And that's even worse. You got to have discipline when you're playing out here in these championship level games.
Lakers 8 for 25, 30%. Another brutal shooting performance by the Lakers, while the Kings are 14 of 28. Final seconds of the first. Bibby, yes! 2 seconds remaining of the quarter. Bibby 5 for 6, 10 points. Brian Shaw from center court, and you can hear the boos from this crowd. As bad as it was Friday night in Game 3 for the Lakers, this is worse.
Maybe, Marv, they should have Kobe Bryant. Check Mike Bibby.
Well, Bryant 0 for 4 here at the start. Sacramento with a 40-point first quarter after one. The Kings by 20. And that was the case Friday night. It was the case in Boston yesterday. And the Lakers shooting has been just atrocious at the start.
And no more evident than in inside shots and then wide open perimeter shots, no defense around, but they're not even close to the rim. And when you're missing shots, it affects every other part of your game, and the Laker defense is nowhere to be found. And look at that shooting, Bill.
Even the most important game of the season for these guys, they come out and stink it up. 29% shooting in the first quarter. They turning the ball over. They're getting pounded on the glass. Nothing going right. They got Shaq on the bench to end the first quarter. He's coming back. On the other hand, though, Sacramento, they shoot 71%. Just a clinic, a thing of beauty. The point guard play and the center play, Bibby and Divac at the top of that list right there, setting the tone of how you come against this great Laker team and try to dethrone them.
Lindsey Hunter, who did a nice job off the bench in that fourth quarter on Friday night, has come on, and he's defending on Mike Bibby, so he'll take a shot at Bibby. Turkoglu able to work free from George. Here's Jackson with the shot clock running down. Bobby Jackson hits a three, and the Kings continue the amazing shooting. They lead now 43-20.
And they said, you know, against Dallas, that's fine, but you can't do that against the Lakers. And the only guy that's making shots right now is number 34 for the Lakers.
And they only give it to him every fourth possession. I don't know what's going on there, but Turkoglu is playing terrific ball. We watch him every day in practice and the warm-ups. He has got a complete game on full display this afternoon.
Scott Pollard taking it inside on Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq is playing with 2 fouls. Chris Webber picked up too early, and he is sitting out right now. Pass deflected, recovered by George. Kevin George with a host of opportunities. Kevin George is now 1 for 7 from the field. Foul is called on Christie.
4 of them have come inside on offensive putbacks. He's been close and missed those opportunities. And, you know, he might be sensing a little bit of pressure, trying to be a little bit more, knowing that this is a huge opportunity for him.
When you're playing against Shaq, as Scott Pollard is right now, just get the rebounds that come your way. Let Turkoglu and Christie get the rest of the rebounds.
O'Neal fires one up. Chris Webber getting set. The checks back in. Christie putting a move on George. O'Neal came over to help. Nice ball movement again by the Kings. That is Jackson not able to hit from three-point range. Pollard on the rebound. Jackson gives it up. Christie to 3. Yes!
There is no hesitation. There is no let-up. There is no overjoyous celebration, although the bench is a little bit happy right now. The long way to go in this ballgame. Determined offensive production here.
They better go to Boston, the Lakers, and find out what they did in the fourth quarter. If you're talking about shutting down that celebration, because the Kings are having a good time. The Lakers are not anywhere into the area code, zip code defensively of what the Kings are doing. Look how wide open these shots are. Now, if you can't make shots in your head by 24 points, you need to come over here and sit with me and you.
Bobby Jackson on the foul, and Rick Fox to the line looking for the three-point play. Yes, the Sacramento bench once again having a very enjoyable time here at Staples. This a Kings team that is 5-0 on the road in this year's postseason. They've won 17 of their last 19 games away from Arco Arena. And these are remarkable numbers. They won twice in Utah, twice in Dallas, Friday night here in L.A. Now, they started the season over their first 32 games when they're 29-3 at home. They were only 13-14 on the road, and you can see how they picked it up since then with 17 of their last 19 in the W column.
Surging confidence. Credit Rick Adelman. He has got these guys believing that this is about skilled basketball, not about size and strength, and they're playing every facet of the game.
Fox not able to get to that loose ball. Condor beating Waller off the dribble. And the Kings now lead 48-24. They double up on the Lakers.
They have 48 points with 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. They might get 70 in the half.
O'Neal will go to the line. So he'll shoot two. Fouled by Pollard.
Marvin, it's good to know there's nothing wrong with Bill's math. He is really racking up the numbers, but it's been the play of the Kings. They're the aggressors. They've been forcing the turnovers. Every time they've had a chance to attack the rim, they've done so, and the Lakers are on their heels. So it's going to take the Lakers a real concerted effort at the defensive end. They got to slow this ball down. They got to slow the team down.
Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
Mark, during the last time out, Jimmy Clemens, the Lakers assistant coach, said that our guys are a little bit anxious. He can't quite figure out just exactly why. He said, we're pressing tonight. We just need to relax. He said, the Kings are doing nothing different than what we expected. Simple difference is they're making their shots and we're not. Now, offensively, yesterday, Chris Webber told me that they have studied extensively the tapes of the 1998 series between the Lakers and the Utah Jazz, which the Lakers lost 4-0, and how the pick and roll worked so effectively against Shaquille O'Neal with Karl Malone and John Stockton. He says, we've watched those tapes, we've studied them, we feel that's their weakness. Mark?
All right, Jim, I think it's a little bit more than that, although Shaq has always been a guy who's not reacted that well to the pick and roll, but foul is called. Foul on the Kings as Pollard got involved with O'Neal, but the Lakers getting nothing from Kobe Bryant, and that's been the major factor.
You know, and Shaq was written up as he needs to put on his cape and carry this team, and that's what he's trying to do now. But when you're surrounded by 3 and 4 guys, tough to score a hoop, and that's what Shaq is finding out this afternoon.
I know you want to win. Everybody knows we want to win the game. 5-man game is going to do it. I'm using your smart. That was really stupid basketball on court. We did some really dumb things out there. Just play a smart game.
Well, Phil taking the direct approach with his team regarding what was a horrendous first quarter by the Lakers.
At the highest of levels, it's always the mental decisions being made and the wild scramble ball with Kobe Bryant not getting anything going. Finally, out of the timeout, Kobe makes his first basket of the day, but they're going to need a lot more of that, getting the Kings back on their heels.
Well, the good thing for the Lakers is they have a ton of time, 32 minutes left in this ball game, so they got to do it in increments. Find a way to knock 6 off, 7 off at a time, so by the time they get to the fourth quarter, the Kings are now maybe a tentative basketball team.
Lakers have been very slow getting into any sort of offensive sets. Kobe just overpowers the King defenders with that shoulder through the chest.
Laker foul on Lindsey Hunter, their first team foul. And now Hedo Turkoglu takes a seat. Doug Christie comes on. 8:20 remaining in this first half. 48-26 Sacramento. Webber actually lost the handle. Horry on the rebound. So the Lakers now have Hunter and Bryant in the backcourt. Horry gets it down low to O'Neal. His shot, forcing the shot.
Pollard playing solid position defense, allowing Webber to just gobble him up. One thing the Kings have to worry about is being too far ahead too early.
Bibby is 6 of 8 from the field for 12 points. I've never quite heard that philosophy.
After New Jersey yesterday.
That's one game, which was miraculous. It's never happened before.
People have to fight off the crowd all day at this point, as opposed to just one day.
Hunter is able to hit. Let's ask Rick Adelman at halftime if he likes this lead that he has.
You know, that's what Secretariat said. I'm too far ahead. I need to let the other horses get to me.
Great teams that I've been a part of. You on the road, you like to be tied at the half.
Our Kobe continues the onslaught. 7 of 9 14 points.
Or up by 33, one of the two.
O'Neal. The foul. Bill, can you take a break and join us sometime in the third quarter?
Bibby has just been able to keep all of the Lakers off balance. Every time you start to go at him, he gives you a little jab step, pulls up, and pops. And this is why he is so difficult to cover when the ball is going in. And this is the way he played in the final two games against Dallas.
Brown now 2 for 5 from the line with 14 points.
Mike Bibby is now torching Kobe Bryant. That's how good he is, Bibby.
Webber gets the step, and the foul is called. The Lakers looking for an offensive foul, but Chris Webber took the hit from Devin George, who picks up his second.
The reality is that the Lakers are not done, but they have a lot of work to do, and they've got to be able to stop the ball, and that's been their problem here in the first half. 3 Lakers finally come to Chris Webber, but he's going to go to the line. You're down 20. You got to get this lead down to 14, maybe 12 points by the break.
Webber 2 for 4 from the line Friday night, following the 3 of 11 in game 2. Webber said, I remember missing 3 on the back of the rim. 2 were in and out, talking about the 3 of 11. And I remember saying to myself, what's the matter, man? You haven't shot this bad since you were a bad shooter.
Mark, the most amazing stat in this series for me has been the fact that the Kings are taking 10 more free throw attempts per game than Los Angeles. Unheard of during a championship run. Offensive foul, Kobe Bryant.
And for Bryant, that's his first foul.
Doug Christie is doing an outstanding job of staying in front of Kobe Bryant, and Bryant goes both ways, but never really was close enough to where Christie was going to have to be concerned about getting beat with that first step, so Kobe picks up the charge.
I've never seen a team since Phil Jackson took over, coach of the Lakers 3 years ago, that thought they could beat Los Angeles. Right now, I'm seeing Sacramento believe.
The Lakers had some low moments this season despite the success with 58 wins. Bibby not able to hit, but we're looking at big game situations where they're blown out, fighting out in game 3. They've been blown out to this point in the first half, although lots of time remaining. Again, all you have to do is look back to yesterday between the game between the Nets and the Celtics. The Lakers have had some bad moments. They were beaten by Dallas and San Antonio handily during the regular season. Remember, they went through that stretch losing to a bunch of weaker teams. But it was regular season. They were in conference with the seven. Here's Hunter to throw. So the Lakers, their shooting continues to 13 of 40 from the field.
Phil Jackson said at the beginning, we need rhythm and court spacing. They're getting none of that, and Shaq is blocking shots here.
The pass from Webber, but Shaq was there. Hunter with a blind attempt, and Bibby able to gobble it up. Here's Jackson. Had about 8 minutes to take that shot. And back come the Lakers.
And the Lakers don't want to play a speed game. They don't want the shot to come up quickly. Lindsey Hunter is saying, hey, I'm getting mine up. You're going to have to take me out of the game.
Lindsey Hunter is starting to make Devin George look like John Stockton.
Well, Lindsey now 1 for 4. Devin George 1 for 7. Timeout is called. In fact, the LA bench was 2 for 14 in this first half. Phil Jackson, a man who coached the Lakers to 2 NBA titles, coached the Chicago Bulls to 6, and facing a desperate scenario right here. The Lakers have lost 2 of their last 3 home games here in the postseason. They have suffered their first consecutive losses since the 2000 conference finals, and this is only the second time that they have trailed in a series under Phil Jackson. You have to go back to the 2001 NBA finals where 1-0 with Philadelphia surprising by taking game 1 here in LA last year.
But the problem for the Lakers is that nobody other than Shaq is playing worth a darn. The bench is 2 for 14. Kobe is 1 for 6. Lindsey Hunter has outscored Kobe Bryant. That's just not going to get it done.
And here's Bryant spinning his way on Twister. So for Kobe, his second field goal, but he does not seem to be himself. Coming off the food poisoning episode in Sacramento, it's kicked out of bounds by Ori.
Kobe's only 2 scores have come out of timeout when Phil sets up plays for him. It's not coming easy for him. The opportunities, the explosion of 5 moving as one that has always been the trademark of Phil Jackson basketball going back to his days with the Knicks under Red Holtzman.
I don't think you worry about Kobe as a player offensively, though, but he's going to strike a match at some point in this game.
Now that's space right there.
Weber showing the touch, so he's 5 for 7, 12 points, and the Kings now lead 56-34. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Fisher, wide open shot, rebounded by Turkoglu. Vlade Divac is back. The Kings going with Divac, Weber, and Turkoglu up front. Christie and Jackson in the backcourt.
The Lakers want to get control of this game at the defensive end. They want to have these Kings have to take some contested shots, make some bad decisions, and turn the ball over.
Shot clock down at 4. Divac not able to hit. Nice box out by Ori.
Vlade's got 1 foul. Critical in the last 4 of 20. See if he picks up any more.
Kobe Bryant has hit 2 in a row. He has 6 points. He had only 2 at the half here on Friday night, and then came on strong with 16 of his 22 of the fourth quarter. Jackson trying to reverse it. Bryant is the steal. So Kobe with the takeaway. And the Kings now with an 18-point lead.
Different guard in the ball game for the Kings. Bobby Jackson can't elude people the way that Bibby can and finish over the top, so the Lakers defense tightening up.
Foul against the Lakers. It is a blocking foul on O'Neal, so that is 3 on Shaq.
The crowd is at a fever pitch right now. Bobby Jackson, who played so well up till this game today, has not delivered. Kobe Bryant able to throw it down in transition. But then coming right back, Vlade Divac trying to get on the offensive attack here. Shaq with 3 fouls. And you're looking at a situation of now having to fight off this crowd already so angry and on edge for the rest of this game.
The former Laker, Vlade Divac, who continues his superb play, comes up with point number 11. You see Shaq departing. Samaki Walker is back. A reminder, don't miss NBC's big Memorial Day Monday, starting at 3 Eastern tomorrow. First up, the return of Cheryl Spooks, as her comics will host Lisa Leslie and the Sparks. And at 5 o'clock Eastern time, it's Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Sparks and the Comics, Celtics and the Nets, tomorrow at 3 Eastern on NBC. Well, things must be very relaxing for Mike Bibby. Little manicuring being done here as he sits out.
Nothing's worse than playing against a guy with long fingernails.
This crowd very much back into it. 3.5 remaining. First half, Kings with a 57-38 lead. They've led by as many as 24. Bryant, yes! And Kobe Bryant relocating the cut. So the Lakers have it down to a 17-point advantage.
You see how much trouble Bobby Jackson is having, and that's what they didn't have, and that's what's allowing the defense of the Lakers to have some impact here in the quarter and slow down the offense. Now, you were concerned about Kobe Bryant, but remember, in that game, in the fourth, Bryant got 16 in the quarter, and this is a guy that can get hot, and I mean blistering hot within a shot or 2.
Walker called for the foul. Lakers with 14 fouls. Kings are over the limit. Bryant from the blind side, not able to come up with a steal. Turkoglu with the step and the bucket. Hedo Turkoglu has 12 points. Once again, a major contributor, turning it from the slow start in games 1 and 2. And Bryant is fouled by Christie. That's 3 on Doug Christie. Bryant to the line because Sacramento is in the penalty. 2:54 remaining in the half. And the Kings up by 19. Hedo Turkoglu able to take it to the rim.
mode, and that's a good thing. Behind the back, between the legs, this is Kings basketball, and the Lakers, up until the last couple minutes, have looked like that wide-eyed 5-year-old just watching the circus go by.
I'm just wondering, that last dunk by Turkoglu, how many times have the Kings gone to the hoop, no Laker anywhere near him? Maybe they should knock somebody down once, just once. All right, now back to Marv, Bill, and Steve.
Thanks, Ahmad. Well, in the regular season, this is a Sacramento team that went 61 and ever Pacific Division title, but they've been going at a blistering pace the last 2 games. Kobe Bryant at the line. He has scored the last 8 points for the Lakers, turning it in the second quarter after the 0 for 4. In the first, he's hit 5 for 6 from the field.
And if you're a Laker fan, what you want to do is see that scoreboard come down to 14, 15 points, somewhere under the 20 that they've been dealing with this first half, so that they'll be ready to come out in the third quarter in the second half.
If you're Sacramento, you say, hey, look, we were on a 70-point pace, but now we've sort of slowed it down with the exception of Turkoglu. Get to 70 points at the half, and you're in a very comfortable position.
Well, Bibby's back in, and this is the guy that they've had difficulty controlling, and he's the one that has made the pace and the game for the Kings.
Shot clock, down to 6. Steve House with a beautiful pass. Rejected by Bryant. Down to 2 on the 24. Turkoglu coming up short. It's a 24-second violation.
What a block shot. That was the perfect give and go up against the shot clock. Bobby Jackson has had 2 layups blocked already. He is too slow on delivering that ball. You got to play like Norm Nixon did, John Stockton, and out-quick him to the hoop and get it up there early.
Bryant looking to post over Jackson. Rebound George. Kevin George with a finger roll. Kings 69 and the Lakers 43 as we come up on 2 minutes to go in the half.
Bobby Jackson has had a couple of excellent opportunities and hasn't been able to deliver, so they've got to find someone else to start making shots again.
Turkoglu not able to hit from downtown. Good tip from Bryant to get it to Ori. Here comes Fisher. Oh, he changed his mind, but Bryant is there. Kobe, Derek Fisher wanted to give it up, then saw he did not have anybody to receive it to force the shot. But the Lakers right back into it. It's down to a 14-point lead. Fisher called for the foul. Lakers are over the limit.
Kobe Bryant is coming alive here after a nightmare first quarter. The rebound here gets it right to Robert Horry. And then Turkoglu does a fabulous job of scrambling the brainwaves for Derek Fisher. And this is a bailout here by Kobe Bryant, single-handedly saving his mates.
Now, as good as Mike Bibby has been at the free throw line during the course of the regular season, here in the Western Conference Finals, he is not true to the mark. And he needs to be able to steady down, start knocking down the free throws for the Kings.
Bibby during the regular season, 80% free throw shooter. Here is Bryant. Walker able to hustle it down. Minute 25 remaining in the half. George off the fade. Rejected by Devon. Fisher over the rescue. Here's Fisher with a bad decision. And Weber comes away with it. Leads Jackson. The ball back to the Lakers.
Should have given that ball back to Michael Bibby. Let him make the play. This is what happened to them in the second quarter in Game 3. They started to make mistakes for the Laker defense.
Only the 4th turnover committed by Sacramento. Fisher for 3. The Kings see the lead. Dropped down to 12.
Phil Jackson has got the championship smirk on his face right now.
Down to 50 seconds in the half. Bibby out of quick release. That's a 3 for Bibby, who has 18 points. Kings 63. And the Lakers 48. Bryant lost the dribble to Jackson. Jackson ahead of the field. And he is fouled by Bryant. For Kobe, that is his second.
But Bobby Jackson on his layup is jumping up instead of out. Mike Bibby, who has quieted this crowd so many times, just comes in with a dagger here. And then the steal by Bobby Jackson, who has not had near the game that he's had coming into today's play, but he's jumping underneath the basket and up rather than from out on the court and out.
Still could be that ankle that is bothering him. Mentioned he had the ice pack wrapped around his left ankle all day yesterday during practice. And the 38 seconds remaining in this first half.
It could also be the footsteps of Kobe Bryant. You know, he's trying to do a little bit too much, knowing that this guy is lurking somewhere out there on the floor.
Lakers take a timeout. Not noted. The long-range shooting is able to knock it down. Samaki did not attempt a three-pointer during the regular season.
And this crowd is energized. They are fired up. They are ready for more. Mike Bibby does a good job of cutting off Kobe Bryant, thinking that the ball is going his way. But who would have ever thought that Samaki Walker, of all people, would knock down the three?
The Sacramento Kings led by as many as 24. They're up by 20 at the quarter. And the Lakers putting a dent into that lead, now trailing by 14 at the half. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Mike Bibby has 18 points here in the first half. How much did the victory in Game 3 give you guys the confidence to come out here and do so well in Game 4?
I don't think it started in Game 3. You know, I mean, we've been playing good the whole playoffs, and, you know, we love playing on the road. You know, we love playing at home, but, you know, their fans get us fired up, and, you know, that's what we're feeding off right now.
Did you watch the Nets and the Celtics yesterday?
I watched the last 2 minutes.
Will you guys talk about that now at halftime?
No, we're not worried about it. We just got to relax a little bit. You know, they hit a lucky shot at the end of the half, and, you know, that might give them some confidence. But, you know, we're going to come out here and try to play the same way we did at the start of the game.
They scored 14 points in 45 seconds in the fourth quarter. The Lakers did in Game 3. Will you be better prepared for that onslaught here in the second half?
Yeah, I think we prepared for it at the end of the game of last game. You know, we started to take control of the ball. We started to relax ourselves, and, you know, we took advantage of it.
Mike, great first half.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck in the second half. Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. 18 points, 8 of 11 shooting for Bibby. Referring to the lucky shot by Samaki Walker, turns out only the second career three-pointer for Walker in his 6-year NBA career. Coming up, Ahmad Rashad, Tom Tolbert, Peter Vesey, and Pat Croce. A star-studded lineup on Verizon Wireless at the half.
Tom Tolbert and Peter Vesey back in our New York studio with Verizon Wireless at the half. And we'll start with your thoughts on the first half.
You know what the Kings have done? You know what they've done?
Yeah,
They've stolen the Lakers' mojo. That's what they've done. They've come in, they've taken the mojo. You know how they've done it? By playing Kings basketball. They're getting up and down. They're getting rebounds. You watch right here. It's rebound. It's off. It's Lakers not getting back. It's a King. Nobody makes that pass. Never the Kings. The Kings just like to live on the wire, and that's the way they're doing it. They're confident. They know they can go in there and win. You know, a couple things for caution for them going into the half. Kobe got on fire the last 2 or 3 minutes, and they gave up 14 offensive rebounds, and those are things they're going to need to address.
Well, the key thief in that mojo theft. I hope they don't smoke that mojo at halftime. That's all. But the key thief could be Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby is the key. I mean, when he came to this team, a lot of question marks surrounding him, Ahmad. You know, his defense. You know, was he going to be as good as Jason Williams? And he was terrible. Could he make a shot that mattered? When he was with the Grizzlies, he didn't take shots that mattered, you know, the few years he's there. But now, he's coming into this series after playing against John Stockton in the first round, and then having to go up against Nash and Van Exel in the last round. Now he's got who? Nobody to go up against. It's like vacation time for this guy. He's got fresh legs every time down court on offense, because basically he doesn't have to do anything with Derek Fisher at the other end. All right, and you're right. Big shots and Grizzlies don't go together. It's time now to check in with Peter for his news and notes from around the league. And the first bit of news comes from Minnesota. And, well, Wally Szczerbiak. I mean, look, his name has been out there for quite a while, the last couple of years. There's been some resentment between him and his teammates. But what it comes down to is the only way they're going to get better is to trade one of their assets. I don't see them getting rid of Kevin Garnett. Makes too much money. Nobody could really give Minnesota equal value. So Szczerbiak's out there. They're trying to package him with Mark Jackson, who they overspent for last year. Not overspent, but they gave up a number 2 pick. But they owe him $20 million over the next 5 years. He didn't work out there at all. They're trying to package him.
All right, so now some surprise news out of Cleveland?
Yeah, to me, startling news. Andre Miller is available. Why is he available? Number one guy in assists in the league, because the Cavaliers don't think that they can pay him. They don't want to give him the maximum salary. You know, this is the year that you usually do those type of things. If they can't get what they want, they might have to pay him. But there are an awful lot of teams that are already talking. The Pacers, the Bucks, Orlando, the Timberwolves. He might turn out to be this year's Elton Brand.
Right.
What a crummy franchise. I mean, come on.
Oh, you're right.
When you get your star player, you finally get somebody who can. Here, everybody's looking for point guards. You finally get a guy who can run your team. He's a very good basketball player. He's only going to get better. And that, to me, just says stamp crummy franchise. You finally got a player. We're going to try to get rid of him.
I got a qualifier to that, though. You know, you got to think that next year, if they get real bad, LeBron James is coming out next year from high school. No question about it. From Ohio, basically a territorial draft pick. If they are the last team in the lottery, they got the best shot to win them. You know, big chance. They might do it.
Speaking of the lottery, the Rockets win the lottery. Have they decided what they're going to do with their pick?
I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to go after Yao Ming from China. He fits in perfectly with what they have. They've got kick guys, you know, penetrating kick guys in Mobley and Francis and even Moochie Norris. You know, they got the guards, they got the young forwards, but there might be, you know, still a little problem with China. Will they let him play here? But the Knicks are trying to move up to get number one, but I don't see them giving it up. Where we're seeing all the action is a lot of teams like Portland. The Clippers are offering Odom to get to that number 2 pick so they can get Jay Williams. Warriors, they all want Jay Williams, but I cannot see Jerry Krause giving his kid up.
All right, Peter, coming up on Verizon Wireless at the half, we'll talk about the Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll answer the question, where in the world is Pat Croce?
I'm in Beantown, and local sports fans are in heaven. You had the Patriots win the Super Bowl, the Red Sox are in first place, and the Celtics on the verge of the NBA Finals. We'll be talking to fans as soon as I leave the famous Green Monster.
Now you're...
Jimmy Fitz was going to change boxing forever, but one man wanted to steal it all away. And the two fought to control the world called Thunderbox.
Hello? This thing doesn't work. Cost me $5,000. Hey! How many times did I put your MC Hammer loving ass out of my office? Get out of my office!
Please. And you wouldn't want to hurt your new partner, would you? What are you talking about? I said partner. Partner.
You sold me out last week. So I sold my half of the Underground and Thunderbox to Woody. How could you? Time doesn't heal a broken heart, Jimmy. But shine and money sure does. See you, bro.
Ho. Don't worry, player. You lose one brother, you get yourself another. Oh yeah. And what do you say? Next season, we take out the white man and we bring in a black man so that we can put a little thunder in the Thunderbox. What do you say?
Girl, your feet must be tired from running through my mind all night.
Down, boy, down. Get off me. Get
Rock
off
the charade, girl, and them panties while you're at it.
Roach, not now. I've got a lot of things going on. Will you stop touching me?
Girl, I'm just trying to ease the stress. Now, when you gonna let me get up under that dress?
Nice. Good enough for you?
One of them going out on the stretcher, man, I'm telling you, against all odds, see which one will stand, they go with mine, no with mine, yeah, man.
My name is Griff, my friends call me Griffy 2K. What you're about to see is some hard, heavyweight boxing, some hot hip-hop music, and some crazy behind-the-scenes madness at this world we call Thunderbox.
Let me tell you how these fighters get paid. $10 a jab, $20 a power punch, $500 for a knockdown, $2,500 for a victory, $5 for a knockout. And when you win it all.
3-point fling by Samaki Walker, and watch this. The Lakers, as it turns out, received a break. You'll see it from the other angle.
Samaki Walker, the ball still in his hands when the clock at 1/10 in the left-hand corner. Now it's at 0. The red light is on. The ball still in his hand. The ball should not have counted. Be that as it may, though, Marv, it's now or never for Los Angeles here. This Los Angeles squad does not look like a Phil Jackson team. There's no flow. The guys seem to be playing in spite of him. A little bit of momentum here. Shaq with 3 fouls. Kobe had no points in the first quarter, 13 in the second. When are the two guys together, Shaq and Kobe, going to play well at the same time? It is just not happening for Los Angeles.
Well, the Sacramento Kings have been the superior team here in Los Angeles, and they've done it with, again, great balance, and it starts with Mike Bibby. They have not been able to get Bibby under control, and that's allowed everybody to get into the act. And if we see that again...
Shows some patience on offense. He wants the ball to go into Shaquille O'Neal quite a bit. He told his team, guys, we need to play with a sense of urgency, not of desperation. We know they're good, but they're getting too many open looks at the basket. Finally, he said, don't put Shaquille O'Neal in a compromising situation on defense where he would have to pick up his 4th or 5th foul early in the third quarter. Mark?
All right, Jim, and these are desperate times for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant just picked up his 3rd foul, 3 apiece on Bryant and O'Neal.
Kobe trying to get up and tiger the ball and reaching across. He's going to knock Bibby off balance, and but that's the kind of defensive pressure they have to have. Now, Bill, they've taken your advice. Bryant is on it, although he dealt with Bibby in the first half. Didn't do that good a job. Let's see if he's more effective in the second.
Turkoglu had a terrific first half, draws the double. And you see Bryant defending on Bibby. Bibby gets the step off. Forced into a tough shot by O'Neal.
Roddy he matched up Shaq early, and then Weber and Turkoglu, they killed Fox and Horry. Bibby outplayed Kobe. Now what can the Lakers do to change this around? 3-second violation on Shaq, just sprouting roots in the lane.
So Jackson has told his team, we want 2s. We don't need 3s, and we need them with some sort of consistency. So ride the big fella, and it's going to be up to the defense of the Kings to change that.
Well, back in game 2, Phil Jackson said the three-point shooting was pathetic. They were 3 for 19, 3 for 15, as Jim Gray mentioned. In the first half, they got off slowly in that department Friday night and then picked it up in the 4th quarter. Fox got the stop. The pusher was about to shoot the 3 and then changed his mind and found Fox. So the 24-point lead is now down to 12.
He saw that hook that Phil Jackson asked for him, and that comes up.
Christie for 3, way off.
They've got to get Vladdy involved in the offense down low.
Delivering to O'Neal, fouled by Divac. That's 2 on Bloody Divac. Once again, you saw a Laker player about to shoot a 3. Robert Horry changed his mind.
Well, I think if they really understand that if they're going to get the game back in their hands in terms of momentum, they've got to get Divac in foul trouble. They've got to keep Weber in foul trouble, and they've got to slow down Bibby. And Shaq has got to make the free throw.
Steve, going back to game 3 in the first half of today, I have never seen a Phil Jackson team pay less attention to the coach. And this guy has been preaching the team, he's been preaching the attack, he's been preaching ball movement, get it inside. They don't listen to him. Maybe this half, when it's all on the line, they will believe that this guy knows what he's talking about, Phil Jackson.
Shaq now 3 for 7 at the line. They try to double up on Bibby. Shot clock at 8. Christie with a rainbow. That's a 2. Had a foot on the line. So the one-time Laker, Doug Christie, 3 for 5, 7 points. Kings up by 13.
The Kings have to make some shots, and they're going to have to make them under duress.
Kobe Bryant under duress, able to beat the double team. Kobe has 15, 67. Little pressure being shown by the Lakers. You saw the pressure bothering the Kings in the fourth quarter the other night.
See, they're trying to get 2 and 3 people on Bibby, and at that time they get him to call a timeout, but they are really paying attention to Mike Bibby now.
2.5 gone by in the third. The Kings by 11. See Bibby get himself into trouble off the trap and asked for time. Dan Crawford said, "You've got it."
Energy from the Lakers. But in the first 2.5 minutes of the third quarter, the Kings really haven't had a successful play. Bibby's got to get it going, and Vlade has got to come and handle the ball because Shaq is not going to pressure his dribble.
Webber gets inside. Chris Webber with 14 points, so the Kings now lead 69-56.
Jim Gray talked about confidence with Mike Bibby at the end of the first half. That confidence, I think, came from Vlade Divac's dunk in Game 2 in the second half. It just inspired the entire King organization that we can get this done.
Bryant's played on a switch by Turkoglu. Fisher with 3 on the shot clock. So Derek Fisher showing some signs. 4 for 9, 9 points, 69-58 Sacramento.
Come back to Webber. Get in the post. Your jump hook is happening today. That's going to get the Lakers back on their heels.
Webber had it knocked away by Fisher. Giving it back. 2 on 1. Fisher takes all the way. Tipped home. Gold and Fox will put down. We'll see who received credit. But of most significant for the Lakers, it's down to a 9-point lead. Kobe Bryant got credit for the tip. Bibby being trapped. Turkoglu. Rejected by O'Neal. That's the third block shot for Shaquille O'Neal.
Lakers are playing ball right now. They've found their game again. On this penetration, you got to be able to lay this off to Vlade or Webber. Shaq is going to keep that ball out of there.
Divac. Christie is on it.
Now, they're in a stretch where they're going to have to weather a storm. As that ball bounced off of Ori and into the stands, and Kings will get it back. And so the Kings are just going to have to realize the Lakers are coming at them with everything right now to get back to ball movement, player movement. Don't try to dribble the ball too much because the Lakers are now stopping the ball.
For the Kings, this is beginning to take on the look of what took place in the fourth quarter on Friday night, in particular with the Lakers going to the pressure defensively. Webber, nice pass, Divac on the follow.
That's what MVPs do. That's what Chris Webber is paid to be their main man. Draw the 2 guys and then lay it off when that defense comes and collapses on you.
7.5 remaining in the third. Shot clock to 9. O'Neal. Rebounded by Webber.
The Kings have to realize they've got the lead, and all they have to do is continue to move the ball, stay on the attack. Going to get a foul on Shaq.
It's a headlock foul on the part of Shaquille O'Neal, his 4th personal.
Webber in the low post, draws the double team. Shaq has to come and block. Robert Horry, normally an expert low post defender, unable to slow down Chris Webber down deep. Shaq just comes in and neck tackles Mike Bibby. That has to be a foul.
But you see him get by Kobe, Horry comes, Shaq comes. They know that they got to corral Mike Bibby if they want to corral this attack.
Dan Crawford with the call away from the ball. It's on Fox. That's his 3rd. For the Lakers, it is their 3rd team foul. The Kings with only 1. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
Marv, I spoke to Kobe Bryant at halftime. I asked him if he had his legs and the necessary energy to finish this game due to the food poisoning earlier in the week. Told me before the game he'd lost quite a bit of weight. He said, I don't have all of my legs. I don't have my lift. I don't think I have my endurance. I've been much better than I have been throughout the season in this game. He says, I hope I'll be okay by the end of the game. Marv?
Yeah, we felt that, particularly in the first quarter, when he came on in the second. Nice serve by O'Neal, and the Kings up by 9. So Kobe trying to hang in and play through it. a costly bacon cheeseburger and slicing a cheesecake in Sacramento earlier in the week. Christie for three. And it's kicked out of bounds. Last touch by the Lakers.
Christie is determined to shoot every time. He hasn't been making them here. He made one in the third early. Phil Jackson trying to set the defense here, but that concept of back cutting and attacking every time will serve the Kings well.
That is number 4 on Bryant. Beautiful cut to the basket by Bibby. He will shoot 2.
Yeah, you know, and Bibby is again showing that, okay, you stop me from dribbling the ball, I'll cut away from it, waited for the contact, and I guess he can go back to his contact with John Stockton and say, you know, I learned a lot about when to go up with this shot and how to draw a foul from John Stockton.
What's so great about this guy is he's like Stockton, Steve. His face is a mask. You have no idea what's going on there. With Magic, with Isaiah, you could always see it in their eyes, in their smile, in their face, that passionate play. With Bibby, he is just an assassin exactly like John Stockton.
Can't make a free throw, and that's what he's got to do.
Struggling at the foul line. Kings up by 10. 6:15 remaining in this third quarter. Ori is hit on the move. That's 3 on Weber.
Every one of Chris Webber's fouls today have been careless, lack of preparation defensively. Grabbing guys on the perimeter who got a step on him because he didn't set himself before his man received the ball, or grabbing Shaq on the shoulder, trying to stop Shaq from getting an offensive rebound.
Fisher shoots the 3. Kept alive by Ori. They try to tie him up. So the Sacramento lead is down to 8. Just under 6 remaining in the third. The backdoor pass anticipated by Ori. Here comes Ori. And it's being waved off. Offensive foul on Robert Ori. So the basket will not count.
Now Ori on the drive, and Vlade this time was inside. Remember in Sacramento when he was outside the line, the call went to Robert Ori. Hey, Vlade, play enough games. It all evens out.
And you see the pressure defense once again being shown by the Lakers.
But Vlade is the guy to break this press. He can handle the ball.
Christie sent flying. And a foul against the Lakers. It's on Fox. It's number 4 on Fox.
This might be a good time for Adelman to think early about Bobby Jackson. You know, Jackson had a nightmare first half, but he's the kind of player psychologically who can come in here and fight off this crowd, put them back in their seats.
Lakers now over the foul limit. Doug Christie to the line for the first time. 4-piece now on O'Neal, Bryant, and Fox. Well, from the producers of Fear Factor, it's Dog Eat Dog, premiering tomorrow, June 17th. I should say Monday, June 17th, on NBC.
You know, Kings gotten a penalty, but they've got to make the free throw as Christie reaches in, and that's going to hurt them. If they can't knock down those free throw opportunities, you're going to see the Laker momentum continue to charge at them because they're now not getting the free, easy scores.
Foul on Christie, that's his 4th. 5:23 remaining in the third. And the Kings up 73-64. Games in the playoffs, the Lakers have fared very poorly in the third quarter. That was certainly the case here, Game 3 on Friday night.
Not so today. They have already scored more points in the third than they did in the entire third quarter in Game 3. They've already made more baskets, and they've eschewed the three-point shot. Listening to Phil Jackson say, take it inside. They're not turning the ball over. It is happening for Los Angeles again, and the response has got to come from Sacramento if they want to hold on, and they got to start thinking about putting more points on the board. How long ago was it we said that Sacramento was on a 70-point pace for the first half, and now we're already halfway through the third, and they're just over 70 seed.
That was at the end of the first quarter, Bill.
Sacramento up by 9, 5:20 remaining in the third. Bryant putting the move on Turkoglu. Got to draw the foul. Crowd feeling he was fouled.
Now, the key for the Lakers is going to be their ability to continue to contain Mike Bibby. Bibby starts to take loose, starts making shots again. The score is going to go up for the Kings.
And Bibby gets the shot off. Rebounded by O'Neal. It's 10 rebounds for Shaq. The Lakers trying to tie the series at 2. Sacramento looking to go up 3-1. Game 5 at Arco Arena on Tuesday night right here on NBC.
Now Shaq is asking for it.
Bryant with the shot clock running down. O'Neal on the rebound. Divac and Weber hit the deck. Divac, to the discussion of the official, Ken Miles did not believe that it was not a charging foul on O'Neal. It's down to a 7-point Sacramento lead. Weber back in. Draws the triple team. Here's Jackson for 3. Air ball brought up by Bobby Jackson.
Bibby should have shot. Jackson, his offensive game is not there.
Bryant putting the move on Bibby. Rebounded by Divac. Bryant was looking for a foul. Nice pass. Not able to handle it. And the ball back to Los Angeles.
All of the breaks that the Kings were able to get and make in the first half, they are not now. This is a 3-on-1 break, and Fisher makes a great save. So the Laker defense is starting to believe that they can contain the passing of the ball movement of the Kings.
It's too casual for Sacramento.
Bryant draws the double. Fisher for 3.
You better get new instructions again.
Jackson lost it. Fisher again. Not able to hit from downtown. Good play by Fox to back tap. Here's Bryant. And Kobe hit. Weber came over to help. But Kobe Bryant has lost the Lakers within 5, and a technical foul has been called on Sacramento. It's on Divac.
The Kings are back on their heels. This is where they need the competitive response from Chris Webber. This is where he's got to pull the guys together. They're losing their composure out here, the Kings, and Webber's got to call for that ball and deliver.
Kobe Bryant has been off from the line throughout the postseason.
Now Kobe is just going to bury his way in and elevate, get that shot away. But the Jackson edict was get the twos, and then the technical foul by Vlade Divac in a very tough third quarter for them.
It's a good no call on Kobe Bryant's attack and initiation of the offense. Sacramento kind of has to stop looking at the referee and start playing some offensive basketball.
Brian Shaw has come on to provide a rest for Kobe Bryant, and Chris Webber with a strong drive. He now has 16, so the Kings lead 75-68. Kings have led by as many as 24, led by 20 after 1. O'Neal to the drop step.
And they knew that the Lakers were going to make a run. So now they just got to toughen up right now in the final 2:30, see if they can get their lead back to double figures.
Turkoglu on the pull-up. Hedo Turkoglu has had another outstanding game. 14 points, 10 rebounds.
And the difference between Turkoglu and Stojakovic is that Turkoglu likes contact, likes the rest of the game. Shaq overpowering inside.
Brian Shaw able to get the ball to Shaquille O'Neal, who was very deep, and it's at that point on the floor, unstoppable.
Phil Jackson has come early with Brian Shaw, knowing the desperate nature of this situation here. And Bibby and the Kings are no longer running the ball up the court. They're having to walk it up, being turned in the backcourt, and that is not a good sign for Sacramento's attack.
Brian Shaw played very well Friday night in Game 3, in particular in that fourth quarter drive. Here's Divac O'Neal not able to get back.
All they have to do is make the adjustment to what they're doing to Mike Bibby. That time they did, and Vlade gets it easy too. So there are still places for them to get scores if they'll make that pass and don't stand around.
9 point Sacramento lead. Shaw had it knocked away. Shaw looking for a foul. Minute and a half remaining in the third, and the Kings in possession have a 9-point lead. Turkoglu. Weber with the shot. Nice box out by O'Neal.
Weber had made 2 terrific plays with the dunk and then the great rebound on defense. That's okay. He needs the ball in his hands because this franchise, that's their guy.
Horry to the reverse. And he is fouled.
And if you're looking from the Kings' perspective, you got to remember, everything that the Lakers do has to be perfect. They're the ones that have to catch up. Weber picks up his 4th personal foul, and they're going to have to make an adjustment there. This is going to be a brutal fourth quarter in terms of attrition for key players.
Samaki Walker comes on. Shaquille O'Neal sits down, one of those unusual scenarios for Phil Jackson. He has both Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal on the bench, but for a short time, only 1 minute left in the third.
But that last play between Shaq and Horry was a good sign because there's been some friction between these two guys in the third quarter here. Robert Horry not happy with the way Shaq is coming to the ball. Shaq not pleased with the way that Horry is delivering it to him. And so that little interchange there brought back some of the team chemistry that the Lakers are going to need to get back into this game and this series.
So Weber takes a seat, departing with the 4th foul. Horry is 78% free throw shooting. Sacramento up by 8. Final minute of play in the third.
Bibby has only scored one point here in the third quarter, so they've done a good job of making the Kings go someplace else for points.
Vlade has to get to the hoop here.
That's foul. Samaki Walker very aggressive in going up against Vlade Divac. Picks up the foul with the Lakers over the limit. Divac will go to the line where he's hit 7 of 8.
Identifying where the mismatch is. The Kings have really grown in this area. Come back, force it through Vlade until Shaq comes back into the game.
Well, coming to NBC in 2 weeks, the final leg of the Visa Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. Last weekend, Bob Baffert's War Emblem proved that his Derby win was no fluke as he rocked his way to victory in the Preakness. And now War Emblem 1 win away from completing the first Triple Crown in almost a quarter of a century. The Belmont Stakes coming to NBC in 2 weeks. That'll be Saturday, June 8th.
Now, this group that the Lakers have out there, they have to run the offense to get scores. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. Bibby.
What a crossover.
Now Bibby lost it.
He's being hammered, manhandled by Fisher and getting no call coming across the arm.
So the Lakers could hold for final shot of this third quarter, and now a foul is called. So Sacramento over the limit. Lawrence Funderburk, who had just checked in, is called for the foul, and you wonder, why would you commit a foul in this situation?
What is he thinking? Every possession so critical, the season on the line, the chance to move forward for the first time as the Sacramento Kings to the championship, and you're coming up ripping him like that.
That was incidental. I mean, if you're going to call that, you got to call Derek Fisher jumping on Mike Bibby's back.
The guy's running away from the hoop like Horry was to the dead corner. Let him go.
Lawrence Funderburk playing in his fourth game of the postseason. Rick Adelman short-handed with Pedro Stojakovic still sidelined with the sprained ankle. Now Derek Fisher and Lindsey Hunter in the backcourt. Brian Shaw sits down. Down to 15 seconds remaining in the third. They're chanting Ori as he looks to cut it to a 7-point Sacramento lead. So now the Kings will look to hold for a final shot of the quarter. Jackson, played by Fisher. We're down to 5 seconds. Using the pick for Divac. Jackson for 3. Bobby Jackson. An inopportune foul committed by Lawrence Funderburk. 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter, but the call was made by Dan Crawford, and then he explained the call to Sacramento head coach Rick Adelman.
Let me tell you something. Guys running down the court to get to his spot, he bumps him, okay? And he can get to his spot without that bump, but once he bumps him and knocks him out, you got to call it. But the point is, Rick, did he hit him? And that's what I asked Ron. Now, he hit him, you know, and you got to give him the call. Let him run like that and get bumped, he'll get the call. You run like that and you get bumped, how could I not give it to you?
Well, I understand that, but Mike Bibby is going to get run right into, get knocked over. And this is what Adelman is saying. You're letting my guy get destroyed. They're playing football out there against number 10, and he's not getting a call.
Forget the in the third quarter, fourth quarter underway. Here's Devin George. 7-point lead for Sacramento.
Now, the Kings got to get back to moving the ball quicker. They're holding it longer than they held it in that good first half of play, and that's allowing the Laker defense to react better.
Divac drawing the double, finds Terminator. And the rebound snatched by Oro, swinging the elbows in the face of Bobby Jackson. Bryant now being played by Jackson.
I think from the body language of the Lakers, they think they have a chance now. Now they're going to try to ride Shaq and Kobe down the stretch, and it's up to the Kings to really put some more doubt in their mind that they can find an answer to win the game.
How long does Adelman leave Weber on the bench?
Here's Bibby for Divac. And last touch. Let's say last touch by the Lakers.
Maybe Bibby should have.
I have to look towards Fields.
If you don't call that foul, why have a rule book?
Well, I'm glad to see that there are some fouls out here, Bill.
Here's Divac with a rare perimeter shot. Vlade Divac has 18 points. He's 5 for 8 from the field. He's opened up an 82-73 lead. O'Neal swinging his way inside, and he is fouled. And Shaq, as always at the offensive end, has to be careful not to pick up an offensive foul. He's playing with 4. Divac collects his third.
But terrific footwork by Shaq, stepping up the lane. Then you see him go around. If Shaq gets in trouble, he keeps his feet inside of the defensive stance of his opponent. That time, Vlade Divac, outstanding execution of the up and under move.
Now Shaq is 4 of 8 at the line. He's 61% from the foul line in the postseason, which is a slight improvement from the way he shot during the regular season. Well, Shaquille O'Neal connects on both free throws. The Kings now lead by 7. Now flying back defending on Jackson. Hunter going against Bibby. Divac, beautifully done.
Vlade is showing how to play against a guy who's bigger, stronger, can jump higher, and has the bigger muscles. This is a thing of beauty out here.
Well, Shaq came over to double team on that play, and he still squeezed it off.
Hunter with his second field goal, 84-77. Sacramento. 2 minutes gone by on the 4. Beautiful pass. Jackson Jackson from Bibby.
Phil Jackson beside himself. Nobody can keep Mike Bibby in front. Looked as if they had him under control and the Kings not running much, but Bibby able to make it happen.
Nice pass from O'Neal. George. And a beautiful back pass from Hunter.
What these teams are finding out, at least the Lakers, is that in a game that you're going to win, you have to score more twos than threes.
Last touch by the Lakers. Bobby Jackson out of control. Very fortunate that it was deflected out by the Lakers.
Beautiful backdoor cut by Lindsey Hunter, who just lays it off. And for the first time in this series, Mark, we have both teams playing well at the same time.
Substitutions for Sacramento. Doug Christie has come on along with Chris Webber, Scott Pollard. Simmons for three. Rebounded by O'Neal.
Shaq is using all of that size and really taking up a lot of space this afternoon.
Bryant off the screen. Nice save by Webber, but ends up in the hands of George. He's fouled by Jackson. Second team foul committed by the Kings.
The loose balls are going to the Lakers right now. They're the ones who are anticipating the action ahead of the Sacramento Kings, who seem to be trying to hold off and playing not to lose rather than playing aggressively to win.
O'Neal over Pollard. Rebound George, who has done a terrific job in the second half. Here's Hunter for three. And Jackson comes away with it, and the Lakers continue to struggle from downtown. 3 for 21 from three-point land. Phil Jackson was able to kind of cool it down in the second half after the 3 for 15 in the first half. Jackson off the lead. Jackson. Looks like O'Neal got a piece of it. Here comes Bryant. Kings get back. Hesitated to shoot the three. George is on it. Once again, the Lakers on another loose ball. No foul call. You can hear the reaction from the crowd. Here's Bryant. And the Lakers still in possession. They have the new shot clock. Hunter for three. Ori on the loose ball. What a sequence for the Lakers.
Will somebody for Sacramento please get a rebound?
That is number 5 on Chris Webber.
Well, that was a monumental missed chance as the Lakers dropped a couple from outside, but on long rebounds, they were pushed inside, so they couldn't get the rebound. Anytime that ball is coming up deep, that's when the Lakers are caving in, the rebounders for Sacramento.
Oye, mi gente, cuidado que esto se está poniendo caliente, calientísimo.
Hold up, y'all, it's my turn now. Hold up, y'all, it's my turn now. It's my turn now. It's my turn now.
Playing a
You a hate kid, so what? I'm the baddest chick, show up. They know my click so tough. You wanna do what? Hold up. Switch up flows, yes, close. Drop toxic flows, yes, close. Keep on with me, I'm on the west coast. I get love from the blood, the crips, they love hip. Out of shit in the south, they love to hear me. Trick, brick, do, mob, Theo, get loose. Let the slide here forever. Stop asking, I step out and the camera start flashing.
Seconds to go in the fourth.
guys that has to be aggressive offensively is Bibby. And now you see their cuts are coming. They're not cutting to the basket. The ball's going inside, but people are standing. Weber, big hoop.
18 for Chris Weber. 88-81 Sacramento. Here's Bryant drawing the double. Lindsey Hunter is open. Passed on the three this time. And comes up short on the two-point attempt.
And he aimed that shot. You know, he wanted to, he was free about thinking about the three, and then he said, Coach said two, and he aimed the shot.
Turkoglu with no hesitation.
Why is Vlade Divac on the bench? What did he do wrong?
Well, they're giving him a breather. You know they got the stretch line to make here, and they want to have Vlade out on the floor to try to finish this game off. Pollard usually comes in to give Shaq a different look.
For three. To bring the Lakers within four. Weber. Well, Chris Weber hit that critical jump shot in the fourth quarter on Friday night to stop the 14-0 run by the Lakers. That could be a big one right there. Bryant to the crossover. Here is Kobe.
Sacramento's not going to win this game unless somebody gets into a rebounding zone. Weber and Turkoglu are the prime candidates here.
Turkoglu got the step. Beautiful move by Hedo Turkoglu, who has 16 points, and that leads to a Laker timeout. Phil Jackson upset.
And he's barking at Kobe saying that's not our defensive strategy, and Kobe's response is, nobody's talking to me. I'm out there on the perimeter. Chris Weber, who has responded magnificently. All the pressure plays he has delivered. And then Kobe Bryant on the defensive end.
Well, Kobe at the offensive end, and you'll see Kobe, and it looks as though he's the kind of player that just can continue to extend, glides up and drops that one down, and Kobe steps up. He opened up the baseline, and that is why Jackson is high. Don't give the baseline away.
Phil Jackson took a timeout and was very upset, Steve, about this play.
And he was upset because of what Bryant is going to do and what the Laker defense is. It should be driving them this way. Kobe Bryant is going to allow Turkoglu to go away from the defense, and that's what gets him upset. But Kobe was guilty of not moving his feet, and then he would say, I don't know where my guy is. You're better than that, Kobe. You're better than that.
It's the responsibility of the anchor on defense, the guy guarding the screener at the elbow, and Shaq on the weak side to communicate where the help is coming from. A breakdown that time for Los Angeles.
The Lakers down by only 6 after trailing by as many as 24 with 5.5 remaining in the fourth. Shot clock to 6. Devin George involved in miscommunication with his teammates and threw it away, so the ball goes back to Sacramento.
Vlade Divac sitting a long time here.
I still think the Kings need to hear from this guy, number 10 at the offensive end. He's only scored 1 point after dropping 18 in that first half.
Weber played by Ori. Now Christie posting. Offensive foul. That is number 5 on Doug Christie, and now Vlade Divac getting set to check back in.
Well, Derek Fisher is one of the great all-time floppers, and he does a great job of drawing the foul on this one, and it goes against Christie and the Kings, but the ball is stopping. Remember how quickly the ball was moving? The Lakers were just chasing in the first 24 minutes. Now they've contained the Kings.
If you're the Lakers, come right away to Shaq. Vlade's been sitting for a long time. He's stiff. Get the ball against Vlade and try to pick up that next foul.
O'Neal trying to get position. Ori hit a 3 a moment ago. Able to get it to Shaq. He thought he was fouled. Instead, the Kings come up with the ball.
I know the Kings are saying we got to get a break at some point. All our guys are getting nicked up with fouls.
Oh, Fisher cutting off the baseline on Bibby. Still gets the shot off and hits. A quick release by Mike Bibby, who now has 21 on 9 of 14 from the field. And the Kings back to an 8-point lead. Bryant, Bibby on the back. Try to get it to O'Neal. And it will be Sacramento back in possession.
Sacramento so careless with the ball when they finally do dig it out on the defensive end.
Well, Bryant had fallen on Bibby's leg, so he couldn't get away. He was trying to dribble out of it, and Kobe turned around and got the steal and saw Shaq and just couldn't get him the ball.
Now Kobe's up on Bibby. Give the ball to Vlade. There's going to be no pressure on Vlade to bring it up.
Kobe Bryant playing with the 4 fouls, as is Shaquille O'Neal, as is Chris Webber. We come up on 4 minutes remaining of the fourth, and a foul is called on George.
Bibby is doing everything that he can to help his team get game 3 here. He's going to come up and get this ball from the rear and make the block. Makes a clean block, surprised him, and now Derek Fisher is all over him, wearing him like a glove, but not quite tight enough.
We talked about Bibby and Stockton earlier. Bibby looks to shoot much more aggressively and earlier in the shot clocking game than Stockton ever did.
Rick Fox has come on for Devin George. Webber rebounded by O'Neal with just under 4. Remaining of the fourth, his time running out on the Lakers. If the Kings hold on, they move in front 3 games to 1. Lakers try to tie it at 2. O'Neal will head back to the line. That's team foul number 4 on the Kings, although Shaq was fouled in the act. Lakers with only 1 team foul as Vlade Divac commits his 4th.
Well, they're going bread and butter time. Kobe and Shaq coming down the stretch. Shaq gets himself set. Webber's coming over. They're all trying to make Shaq have to make the shot, and if not, get to the line.
O'Neal 5 for 9 from the line. He did hit his last 2.
For the Lakers on the offensive set, it's not an easy post-entry rhythm for them right now. Kobe's having to come to a dead stop and then lob it in there. Where's the play where they flow up as one and then zip it in and guys moving off them?
Once again, Shaq hits both. So the Kings lead by 6. 3:35 to go in the fourth. Game 4 of the Western Conference Final Series. Horry Neely picked it off. Shot clock down to 5.
See how the Kings are standing now, and that hurts them.
Webber for 3. Divac very quick to the ball. Beat O'Neal.
Now, Vlade is saying, no, calm down. Let me handle it. Let's see what he's going to try to come up with. 17 on the clock. Looks like he wants to go one-on-one against Shaq.
Sacramento standing up.
Oh, Bryant knocks it away and carries out of bounds and called Laker ball.
All the breaks going toward the Lakers, but Vlade should have given that ball up. You make a decision within 1, 2, 3 and go with it, and they're standing around, and that's allowing the Lakers to reach and get control of the ball.
Just under 3 remaining on the fourth. Lakers down by 6. Bryant on a pull-up. Yes. It's a 4-point game. This is the closest the Lakers have been since the opening minutes.
Time for another response from Chris Webber. Make something happen. You're the man.
Well, Horry digging in on Webber. Shot clock to 5. Webber goes behind the back to good. He gets it off. Air ball handled by O'Neal. 2:20 to go in the fourth. Lakers down by only 4. O'Neal over Divac. Did not have the good look.
Sacramento desperately needs a good offensive set here. Everything is going against them. They're going to take a timeout and regroup here.
2 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. It's a 4-point game. Sacramento, what Kobe has done through this playoff run. Averaging a shade over 8 points in the fourth quarter.
A player who lives for these moments. Competitive greatness. Lakers desperately need everything right now. The Sacramento Kings have not lost a road playoff game this year. Their offense, though, has disappeared. Only 14 fourth quarter points to go on top of 15 in the third.
Yes, they're 5-0 on the road in the playoffs. They've won 17 of the last 19 on the road overall, which is just phenomenal. Sorgalo over Bryant. A huge shot by Hedo Turkoglu. And the Kings now lead 96-90.
And it came through Chris Webber. Send him down low. Force the double team. That's going to give you a wide open spot-up shot.
A minute 40 remaining in the fourth. Horry for three. Continues to hit the clutch shot from downtown. It's a three-point game with a minute and a half remaining in the fourth.
Now the Kings got to get back to passing that ball. Don't let the Lakers defense catch up with you, grab you, and hold you. And when you make a decision, go strong to the hoop. Webber again.
Now to 4 on the shot clock. Divac. So Sacramento with first Turkoglu and then Divac. And the Kings now lead 98-93. Robert Horry has scored 8 points in this fourth quarter. Coming up on a minute remaining in the fourth. Bryant on a crossover. 98-95. The Kings by 3. Just under 1 minute remaining in the fourth. Now the Lakers do have fouls to give. Sacramento with 14 fouls. The Kings looking to go up 3 games to 1. Lakers trying to tie the series at 2. Christie for 3. Rebounded by O'Neal. And the Lakers very much alive with 35 seconds remaining in the fourth, down by 3. They do not need a 3 at this point. O'Neal held by Divac. And that puts the Kings over the limit, so Shaq will shoot 2, and Divac picks up number 5.
Good job by Vlade Divac there. Make him get it at the line here. Robert Horry, the beautiful ball movement. How many times have we seen these daggers just take the life out of the opponent? He looks and talks some trash to the bench. Kobe Bryant with a literally impossible shot. I mean, who has ever made a shot like that?
Shaq is 5 for 6 at the line in the second half. And overall, he is now 8 for 12, so he's hitting the free throws down the stretch.
If Shaq makes this free throw and they're down 1, I think that the Lakers need to foul. I don't think there's enough differential on the time clock here.
Derek Fisher sits down. Lindsey Hunter checks in. We have 26 and 9/10 of a second remaining in the fourth quarter.
If you're the Kings, you want to get to the other floor before the Laker defense can set up.
So Shaq continues to hit his free throws. It's down to a 1-point lead. Christie, guarded by Bryant. And a foul. They had a foul to give. So that's number 5.
2-second differential between game and clock. 22.2 left in the game and 20 seconds left on the shot clock. If you're the Kings, you get that ball in and you use every single second on your shot clock before you put the ball in the air.
Shaquille O'Neal has hit his last 6 free throws to cut it to a 1-point lead. And they'll try to use this clock.
I think the Lakers have to foul here.
And they do. Won't count. Rick Fox called for the foul.
The Kings have the right strategy. Make them come to you. Otherwise, they don't have enough time to set up a play.
And it puts the Lakers over the limit. Vlade Divac is 8 of 10 from the line. We're down to 11 seconds remaining in the fourth. Divac during the season only a 62% free throw shooter. Divac hits 1 of 2, and the Lakers call for time. 11 and 8/10 seconds to go. Lakers have come back from 24. The Kings try to hold on. They're up by 2.
Led by their 2 young superstars, the Boston Celtics play with style and flair. Now, This team hopes to seize what the old Celtics once owned, the NBA championship. The Celtics versus the Nets, tomorrow on NBC.
Yesterday in Boston, the Celtics pulled off the greatest fourth-quarter comeback in NBA playoff history. Well, today, the Lakers, after trailing by as many as 20 after 1, are trying to pull off the greatest comeback in playoff history. In terms, the Lakers did it at Seattle back in '89.
They did not want to see 3-1.
This, the Lakers' first lead since the opening minutes when it was 2-0. Lakers, they score the first basket, and they score the last basket of the night. A heartbreaking defeat for the Sacramento Kings as this series shifts back to Arco Arena for game number 5 on Tuesday night. Let's go to Jim Gray with Robert Ory.
All right. Thank you very much, Marv. First of all, have you ever seen a crowd in Los Angeles stay and chant, and they're all chanting your name, Robert?
It's a great feeling. First of all, I got to thank the Lord for putting me in a position like that. But, the fans are great. They didn't leave. They stayed behind us. It was all about the fans keeping us in there and believing in us.
How many times can you do this? You've gone beyond incredible with this type of a shot at the end of a game.
I don't know. I just go out there and just play. I was telling Chris Webber that I just play the game. Whatever happens, happens. You just got to go out there and play the game as hard as possible. You keep playing hard. You don't know where the bounce is going to go. And then Shaq tipped it out. They got the right bounce at the right time.
When the ball went in and Kobe missed the shot, Shaq tipped it out. Did you look at the clock or did you just shoot?
I didn't even look at the clock. I figured if I can get my rhythm and shoot it, it was going to be all right. I didn't even worry about that because if you worry about that, you're going to either rush your shot and throw your shot out. So I just took my time and got it under control and knocked it down.
Robert, the team was down 24 points. Did you have the feeling, and did your teammates have the feeling that the championship reign may be on its way over?
No, me personally, I've been down 3-1 in Phoenix. I never even worried about it. You take it one step at a time, and you go out there and do what you need to do to get the job done.
Do you ever feel any pressure in these situations? You hit 2 big three-pointers right there with the game on the line.
Me, no, I don't, because I've been through worse in my life. With a sick daughter, nothing like this can really question me, so I just go out and play the game.
It's been a very difficult series for you guys. Nothing has come easy. What makes you think now you can go up to Sacramento and win one of these last 2?
With a game like this, coming back from 24 down, that's a lot of confidence. Even though we do have confidence, that's a momentum builder. Hopefully we can go out there and jump on them early because the last 2 games they've been jumping on us early, so we need to get in there and get at them.
You were in that huddle. Kobe hugged you, Shaq hugged you, all your teammates. What did they say? Could you hear it?
They were saying you did it again, so I'm just happy that they were believing in me and to go out there and do this thing.
Robert, congratulations.
Thanks.
Unbelievable. Don't know how many times we're going to say that, but we're saying it again, Marv.
All right, Jim. Robert Ory, one of the stars of Houston's back-to-back championships, continues his heroics as a member of the Lakers. Remember the game-winning shot against Portland earlier in the playoffs to take that series, and he does it here today with a three-pointer. However, remember at the end of the first half, guys, Maki Walker firing a three with time running down, and you'll see the clock and the light on the backboard, and it appeared that it was late, but it did count.
Shouldn't have come down to that for Sacramento. They stopped playing. They never got to 100 points. They were on such a ferocious pace. But this play at the end, everybody was involved. They came out, executed out of the timeout. The Lakers did. Shaq handled it. Kobe handled it. Finally came to Ori. The inability to get that one rebound team. And he's got to have his guards cutting that foul line to make it happen.
You see,
not to be for Sacramento.
He volleyballed that thing out as far as he could, and he's thinking time will take care of it, and no King steps in, and Robert Horry steps up.
Well, it sets things up for Game 5 in Sacramento Tuesday night, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time right here on NBC. Shaquille O'Neal, 27 points, 18 rebounds. How about his free throw shooting down the stretch as he hits 6 straight?